Hello dear friends and students. In this video we will discuss about squares and square roots. As you already know, in the previous video we studied about profit and loss in detail and solved important problems related profit and loss, and I hope you people learned these concepts in a good manner. In this video we will cover the following topics: introduction to squares and square roots, properties of square numbers from 1 to 50, squares of negative numbers, numbers between squares, square roots of number, square roots of perfect squares, square roots of imperfect squares, and square roots from 1 to 50, and the most important frequently asked questions regarding squares and square roots. This is a very important concept, and some questions in the competitive examinations are asked about this concept. So squares and square roots are used in our daily life, and we use them in every aspect of life. So try to understand these concepts. First of all, I have a request from all of you. If you have not subscribed my channel, so please subscribe my channel, like the video and share it with your colleagues. So squares and square roots, both concepts are opposite in nature to each other. Squares are the numbers generated after multiplying a value by itself. So 2 square can be written as 2 power 2, and it means that 2 into 2. So when a number is multiplied with itself, so that generated number is actually called a square of that number. Where a square root of a number is value which on getting multiplied by itself gives original value. Hence both are vice versa methods. For example, the square of 2 is 4 and the square of 4 is 2. So they both are inverses or opposite of each other. That is, 2 square is 4 and 4 square root is 2, and square root symbol is this. This is called the radical symbol, and the number in between this radical sign is known as a radicand. So the square root of 4 is 2. If n is a number, then its square is represented by n raised to the power 2, that is n square. N is square root is expressed as n square root. Where this sign is called radical, the value under the root symbol is said to be radicand. Okay, there are some properties of square numbers. The square numbers are the values which are produced when we multiply a number by itself. Some of the properties are: square of 1 is always equals to 1. Square of positive numbers are positive in nature, as well as square of negative number is also positive in nature. For example, if you take square of -3, so it becomes 9 positive. So square of positive as well as negative number is always positive, and a square of even number is even. The next is square of 0 is 0. Square of root of a number is equal to the value under the root. For example, square root 3 square equals to 3. The unit place of square of any even number will have an even number only. If a number has 1 or 9 in the units place, then its square ends in 1. If a number has 4 or 6 in the units place, then its square ends in 6. For example, if I have a number 11, so now 1 is the unit place, so its square ends with 1. Similarly, if I have this number 19, so now 9 is at the unit place, so its square will also have the 1 in its square. Similarly, if a number has 4 or 6 in the unit place, then its square ends in 6. If I have a number, for example, is 54, so its square ends in 6. Similarly, if I have a number 66, so now we have 6 at the unit place, so its square ends in 6. These are some important square numbers from 1 to 50. So 1 square means 1, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and so on. So these are the important squares. You have to memorize all these squares by heart. 9 square is 81, 10 square is 100, 20 square is 400, 30 square is 900, 40 square is 1600, and 50 square is 2500. So you have to memorize this table for quick calculation. Next is square of negative number. As I already told, square of negative number is always positive. So the square of negative numbers give a positive value, because if we multiply two negative numbers, then it will result in a positive number. Remember that negative sign and to negative will, when we multiply this, so it gives us a positive result. So minus and to minus equals to positive, positive and to positive equals to positive. So if both signs are equal, then the result or the product of these two signs is positive. And if we have opposite sign number, that is one is negative and another positive, then the result will be negative. So negative positive or positive negative gives us negative, and the same signs gives us positive results. Therefore, square of minus n is minus n whole square, which is minus n into minus n, which gives us n square, where n is a number. Similarly, minus pi whole square equals to 25, and minus 7 whole square equals to 49. Now, in this slide, we will find how to find out numbers between squares. So suppose there are two square numbers, that is n square and n plus 1 whole square. So then the total numbers between these two squares are given by the formula 2n. So the difference of n square and n plus 1 square is equal to 2n. Let's say we have 3 squares, that is 3 squares and 4 squares. These are two squares. So then the number between these two squares is given by 2n. So here n is 3. So it becomes 2 into 3, it means that 6. So the numbers in between 3 square 9 and 4 square is 16. So the number in between 9 and 6 are 16 or 6. So let's try, or either that or 6 or elsewhere. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So now count these numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the numbers in between 9 and 6 are actually 6 n number. So the formula is right. Okay. Next concept is square root of number. So we already discussed this, that squares and square roots are opposite in nature. So the square root of any number is the value which, when multiplied by itself, gives the original number. It is denoted by the symbol this square root, and if the square root of n is a, then a multiplied by a is equal to n. Okay, so it can be expressed as square root of n is equal to a, then a into a is equal to n. This is the formula for square root. Square root of perfect squares. The perfect squares are the one whose square root gives a whole number. For example, 4 is a perfect square because when we take the square root of 4, it is equal to 2, which is a whole number. Let us see some of the perfect squares and their square roots. So the 0 is a perfect square, its square root is 0. 1 is a perfect square, its square root is 1. The square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. And square root of 25 is 5. Next is square root of imperfect squares. So finding the square root of perfect square is easy, but to find the root of imperfect square is difficult. The root of the perfect squares can be estimated using the prime factorization or division method. The square root of imperfect square is usually fraction. For example, 2 is an imperfect square because 2 cannot be prime factorized and its square root gives a fractional value. Examples are square root of 2 is 1.4142, square root of 3 is 1.7321, and square root of 8 is 2.8284. And by the help of calculator, you can easily find out the square and square root of any number. These are important square roots from 1 to 50. So square root of 1 is 1, square root of 2 is 1.4142, square root of 10 is 3.1623, square root of 30 is 5.4772, and square root of 50 is 7.0711. These are the frequently asked questions, and you have to answer these questions in a comment box. If you have any query regarding this topic, so you may ask in the comment box. What are squares and square roots? What are perfect squares? Give an example. What is an imperfect square with examples? How to find the square root? What is the difference between a square and square roots? So I am waiting for your answers about these questions. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope this will benefit you in mathematics examination as well as in the competitive examinations for any job. So once again, very much thanks to all of you for sparing your precious time to watch our videos. So please like our video, share it with your friends, and subscribe my channel. Goodbye.